Good day, dear friends. I hope you are doing well, and it is my pleasure to greet you here again. Today, our revision topic will be direct and indirect speech. Now, please sit closer and revise together with me what you know about direct and indirect speech. What someone said can be reported in two ways. These two ways are in direct and in indirect way. Now let us see what direct speech and indirect speech is. Direct speech, from here you see that, is a speech that is directly reported word for word. Remember, word for word without any changes. And direct speech is given within two double quotes, and you see here. For example, the teacher said, I have been teaching for 7 years. Whatever the teacher said have been given word for word without any changes. And indirect speech. Indirect speech is presented with some grammatical modification and not word for word. It means that some changes are done here and it doesn't appear. It means that indirect speech doesn't appear within double quotes. For example, the same sentence. What about in the that first it was given in indirect speech, and what about that second time it is in indirect speech? The teacher said that she had been teaching for 7 years. How to change direct speech to indirect speech? As you know, dear friends, there are mainly four main types of the sentences. These four main types of the sentences are affirmative sentence, yes-no question sentences, WH question sentences, and imperative sentences. Before changing direct speech to indirect speech, we have to find out which type of sentence it is, and after it to follow the rules, because each sentence type has its own way of changing direct to indirect. Now let us start with affirmative sentence. You know that affirmative sentences can be positive and negative. It doesn't make any sense, positive or negative. Both are called affirmative sentences. And what happens here? The rules. To say, change to tell, then quotation marks and double dots are omitted. We don't use them, the quotation marks and double dots. And as I mentioned, say change to tell, but if after say there is no object, we keep to say. We don't change say to tell. But if after say, in direct speech of course, if after say there is an object, we change to say to tell, and after tell we use object. And remember one more thing, that after tell we don't use to preposition. We never say tell to him, we say tell him, to tell him. Here are some examples. Now let us look through the examples. Peter says, I like English. First of all, we have to identify who does this I belong to. When we change direct speech into indirect speech, pronouns are affected as well. Of course, if it is needed. That here we need to change the pronoun. I belong to Peter. Peter is a man or a boy, so that's why I will change to he, and he is third person singular, so we'll use the verb in third person singular. We will add there s. Peter says that he likes English. Second example. She says to me, do you see, after say we have object. He says to me, I'm a student. Who is a student? I or she? Of course, she is a student. So in that case, I in direct speech will change to she, and to me will remain in its place. We don't make any change here, but say will change to tell, and we'll omit two prepositions here. She tells me that she is a student. Third, Bob says to us, I like your car. I is Bob. Us, he says to us because we are Bob's object. And when Bob speaks with us, he uses your but not our. But when we change direct speech into indirect speech, your will be substituted with our. Bob tells us that he likes our car. Number 4, they say, we have lost the key. After say, you don't see any object, so we'll keep say. We'll not substitute say with tell. And we belong to they. They say that they have lost the key or they have lost their key. One more example. He says, I have done my assignment. Who has done assignment? Of course, he. And what about here? I will change to he and my will change to his. Now let us see how we change direct to indirect in this sentence. He says that he has done his assignment. And one more thing I would like to give into your attention is that when we change direct speech to indirect speech and our indirect speech is affirmative sentence, we put that between two sentences. And this that is not very important to use. You can omit that as well, or if you want, you can use it because it doesn't bring any semantic change to the sentence. You see here, he says that he has done his assignment, or he says he has done his assignment. Now, second type of sentence is yes-no question. Now, let us see how we change direct into indirect if our direct speech is given in yes-no question form. What will happen here? Be very careful. Of course, it will be done for all 4 types of the sentences. It means that 2 dots and quotation marks to be omitted. It is the same rule to be followed here as well. And what about the second rule? We omit do, it is auxiliary do, if our yes-no question is formed by means of auxiliary do. Do is omitted. Remember, do, does, or did. It depends which tense form the sentence is used. Then, if our auxiliary verb is to be or to have, or there is no auxiliary that the question form has been met or formed by using of modal verbs, what will happen there? We'll change their position. It means that word order will be the same as in the affirmative sentence. Remember, as in the affirmative sentence. And what about the conjunction? Between the reporting clause and affirmative sentence, we'll use if or whether conjunction. Either of them is possible. In the affirmative sentence, that is used, but in yes-no question, if or whether is used. Now let us see some examples. And one more thing. Say change to ask, tell, want to know, wonder, to be interested, etc. Now let us see some examples. That here is one example. He asked me, do his clothes smell the perfume? how to change it. He asked me, you see that say has been substituted with ask. He asked me, and we bring if or whether here, if his clothes smelled the perfume. Or he wanted to know, or he want that, or he was interested. So again, if his clothes smelled like perfume, or whether his clothes smelled like perfume. Next is W question. What happens with W questions? With W questions, we don't bring any conjunctions. What about WH words are used as a conjunction? It means who, when, where, whom, what, which, what kind of. So we keep them, we don't omit them. And after WH question, the sentence is used in an affirmative form. It means that it's like an affirmative. It means if after W question we use do, it means that auxiliary to do, we omit auxiliary to do. But if the yes-no question form, you know that after WH we use question form, yes-no question form. And if the auxiliary is to be or to have or modal verbs, they stand after subject. Remember, direct speech, where are you? Here you see the word order, question word, then predicative and subject. What happens? He asked where she is. Where stands in its place, and the second place is given to the subject, and predicative comes after the subject. Where do you go? For example, he asked or he said, where do you go every day? And what about the changes? He asked where she went, but not where did she go or where does she go. And reported speech imperatives. Structure for reported speech imperative. To say changes to reporting words ask, tell, advise, explain, suggest, beg, order, warn, etc. It depends on the meaning of the direct speech. That we can't say that for all the direct speech we'll use when we change imperative direct to indirect, we'll use ask or tell. So it depends. If you see that direct speech is understood as giving a piece of advice, or if it is explanation, or if someone suggests something or offers something or begs or gives orders, or it's a warning, yeah. So in that case, you can use one of them. This is rule number one. Rule number two, the verb in imperative is used with to infinitive. Remember, with to infinitive. If it is come in indirect speech, it will be used as to come. Now let us see examples. She said, come later. He asked me, because if there is no object, that consider the object as you. He asked me, you see, to come later, but not come later. He said, this is negative. What happens in negative? If our imperative sentence is in negative, what rule to follow? We don't keep do, we omit do, we keep not, and after not, we use the verb with infinitive. He said, don't eat too much sweets. Is it order? Is it suggestion? Or is it advice? Sure, it's a piece of advice. In that case, our reporting verb will be advice. He advised me not, you see, not do doesn't appear here, not to eat too much sweets. Other examples. Direct speech. He said, lie down slowly, Tom. In indirect speech, he told Tom to lie down slowly. Second example. Don't swim out too far, boys, said the coach. It's a kind of warning, right? And our reporting verb will be warn. The coach warned the boys not to swim out too far. Then the last one here, the boy said to his friends, please play that tune again. The boy requested his friends to play that tune again. We have to follow the other rules when we change direct speech to indirect speech. When we change direct to indirect speech, we usually change the tense of the verbs from the present forms to the past forms if the main clause is in the past. If it is in the past, we make tense changes there. But if it is in the present, we don't make any tense changes. For example, if it is he says, I went, for example, somewhere yesterday. He said that he went there yesterday. No tense changes. But if the main sentence is in the past, we have to make changes and we have to be very careful and follow all the rules. It means that the present forms change to the past forms and the pronouns and timing words are affected too. Now, let us see what change happens with demonstrative pronouns and timing words. Today changed to that day. Tonight is substitute with that night. Yesterday changed to the day before or the previous day. The day before yesterday, 2 days before. Earlier last week, month, year, night. The previous week, month, year, night, or the week before. Yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening. It is substitute with the previous morning, previous afternoon, and previous evening. A year, a month, a week ago. A year, a month, week before, or the previous year, or the previous month, or the previous week. 2 years, 2 months, weeks ago. 2 months, weeks, years before or earlier. Tomorrow change to the next day or the following day. The day after tomorrow in 2 days' time. Next week, month, year. It is substitute with the following week, month and year. Now, then or immediately. And what about pronouns? Here, change to there. This is substitute with that. These changed to those. Examples. I'll phone you tomorrow, he said to me. You see, he said to me, the person said it in the past, but what about direct speech is in future? What will happen here? Of course, tomorrow will be substitute with the next day or the following day. He told me. Why told? Because after say there is an object. If there is an object, if you remember, say is changed. And so we use tell, and after tell we use object, but this object is used without preposition to. He told me that he would phone me the next day or the following day. Will change to would. Will, would, shall, should. I'm going to visit my relatives today, she said. Do you remember? Today changed to that day. And what about to be in present will change to its past form. He was going. She said she was going to visit her relatives that day. His mother said to me, he left home half an hour ago. Ago is substitute with before, and if it is before, past indefinite will be used in past perfect because of before there. His mother told me that, or just simply, his mother told me, without that, you remember, he had left home half an hour before. He said, I'm leaving London the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow changed to in 2 days' time. It is in the past, and am will change to the past form of to be, which is was or were, or it depends the subject. If in indirect speech a statement is always or still true, we don't make any time changing here. Or they are, for example, facts that we don't make any changes. For example, he said, the earth is round. Earth is round is a fact, is a true fact, so that's why we can't change the time here, and we can't say that he said to us that the earth was round. It will be understood in a different meaning, as if the earth used to be round, but it is not round now. It is grammatical and semantic, that it is mistake, it is incorrect, and that what about its semantic meaning also is incorrect. So that's why we keep the same tense if our direct speech is fact, and so something is still true. He told us that the earth is round. Then he said, London is the capital of the UK. He said that it is still true. Still, London is the capital city of the UK. We will not make any changes here. He said that London is the capital of the UK. Or he said, as you know, 2 times 2 is 4. He said that, as I knew, 2 times 2 is 4. They are facts. Let us once more look through and make clearer the tense changes. You see here, present simple changed to past simple, present continuous, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, past simple, past perfect, that no changes happen here. Then future simple, future in the past. To be, going to will be used in the past. Examples. He said, I live in the city center. He said that he lived in the city center. He said, I'm going out. He said that he was going out. He said, I finished. He said that he had finished. I've been studying a lot. He said that he had been studying a lot. He said, I arrived before you. He said that he had arrived before me. He said, I had already left. He said that he had already left, no changes. He said, I'll be there at 2 p.m. He said that he would be there at 2 p.m. Sometimes the direct speech that we want to report comes in more than one sentence. And what happens in that case? Now let us see the example. Direct, be quiet, I am watching TV. Indirect, she told us to be quiet while she was watching television. You see, be quiet while she was watching television. Or she told us to be quiet because she was watching TV. Dear friends, we have already revised all the rules how to change direct speech to indirect speech. Now it is time to do tests. Here are some tests, and these tests are in the multiple choice. Now let us see which of these variants are or is okay variants. Here, the teacher promised that A, B, C, D. You see that promised is in the past. Which variants to omit? Of course, we'll omit variant A because it is in the present. Then variant B to omit because of 2 reasons. First, it is in the present, and the second is if. That you know that we use if if our main sentence is in yes-no question form. Then whether we would learn 3 English songs or who will learn, we can't use who will learn, and we would learn 3 more songs. Yes, this is okay answer. B and D, so they are the forms of yes-no questions, direct speech to change to indirect speech. So our right variant is C. The teacher promised we would learn 3 English songs. Second sentence, Bill. Have you seen any interesting comedy lately, Nancy? Bill asked Nancy because Nancy is an object. Bill asked Nancy. First of all, let us identify which sentence type our direct speech has been used. It has been used in yes-no question form. So if it is in the yes-no question form, you know that we'll add there conjunction if. So in that case, C is incorrect here, and our main sentence is in the past. In that case, A is incorrect. What about this one? It is the changes of future indefinite to the future indefinite in the past, so we can't use this one. And if he saw, as you remember, present perfect changed to past perfect, so that's why B is incorrect as well. So our right variant is D, if she had seen any interesting comedy lately. Sentence number 3. Nick, did you see a bird in the tree? Nick wonders. Now be very careful. Nick wonders. It is in present simple. If our main sentence is in present simple, no tense changes will happen here. In that case, we have to find the okay answer. If I had seen a bird is incorrect. Whether I see, our direct speech is in the past, but it is in the present. If I have seen, no tense changes will happen here. You know that we'll omit only did, and C will be used in past simple. That's so. Where is the so variant? We see so variant in A and in B. That is incorrect conjunction, and our okay variant is A. If I saw a bird. Dick to Lucy. Have you received my telegram? You see, Dick asked. It is in the past. And we have to think about the tense changes for direct speech. Lucy has received is incorrect. Would, will, and received. It means that B, C, D variants are incorrect variants. It is very easy to do it. Our right variant is A, if Lucy had received his telegram. Sentence number 5. N. Write down my address. It is imperative sentence. And what happens here? We'll put to in the front of the verb write. That write will be used as to write, yeah? And Anne wants me to write her address. So my pronoun also, as you know, will be affected. And my will be substitute with her. Now let us find the okay answer. A isn't okay because there is no to here. She, D and E, C, D, E are not correct variants. Which variant is okay? Of course, you're right. B is right variant, to write down her address. Number 6, he said, I'm very busy today. He said, who was busy? He was busy. I will be substitute with he. And it is in the past, so our direct speech, it means that the speech which has been given within the double quote will be changed to past, yet it would be how he said that he was very busy. Today will change to that day. Now let us see if we have such variant here. Of course, he said that or without that, he was very busy that day. Variant C. Lena said, Where have you been yesterday? It is WH question. What happens here? You know that after where, our sentence will be in the affirmative sentence form. Imagine it will be like this: where you have been yesterday. So yesterday will be substituted with the day before, because Lena said is in the past. And so let us try to make it from the original. Lena asked, say will be substitute with ask, because it is a question sentence. Lena asked where she had been yesterday. We don't keep yesterday, because yesterday can't be used with perfect. And where she was, this is in the present perfect, but nothing about present perfect to change to past simple. Nothing can't be said about modal verb, because in our original sentence there is no modal verb. And what about present simple to be kept? Because Lena asked. Asked is in the past. In that case, which variant is okay variant? Of course, the first variant. It means that A is right variant, where she had been the day before. She thought, what am I going to do? He thought, what? It is in the question form, yeah, that it is incorrect. He thought. It is in present, you see, as it is in the present, am will be substituted with was. He thought it is incorrect. What is he going? It is in the question form. And which one is okay variant? What he was going to do. Number 9. Mother asked me what to do. Or mother asked me what. Mother asked me, A can't be used because asked is in the past, but what about A variant is in the present perfect. Then after ask we do not use that. Then as it is in the past, when I spent is incorrect because there is no tense agreement there. And so it is the same with E. Which variant? Of course, C is okay variant. Mother asked me if I had spent all the money. Dear friends, remember that when we change direct speech to indirect speech, we get objective clause or object clause. And what about the question for this clause is what? For example, what did my mother ask? Or what did she say? Or what did he tell, for example, her friend, etc., etc. Then, number 10, don't play in the street. And it is imperative sentence, and we'll think about what to do here. We have to put to before the play, and do will be omitted. And so in that case, A is incorrect. What about B? B is in affirmative, positive, but not in, it is in negative sentence. She asked me to play again. It is positive. But what about E? My mother said I should. Nothing about should, because we don't have any should in our original sentence. D is right variant. My mother told me not to play in the street. 11. Tom, don't forget to bring my book, Anne. Tom asked Anne. That can't be used here because it is affirmative sentence. So A, B are incorrect. What about D? Not to forget to bring her book. Tom is not she, but it is Tom is he. So her is incorrect pronoun here. His and his, B and C. Now let us choose which one. We can't use that here. Not to forget to bring his book. It means that our C variant is right variant. And the last one, Jack said, I was at home yesterday. Jack said, yesterday will be substituted with the day before. If it is the day before, was will be used in past perfect. Jack said that he was at home, incorrect. He was also is incorrect. He will be at home is, it is in future. He had been at home the day before, and he had been at home a week ago. Yesterday is substituted with the day before. In that case, our E variant is okay variant. So that's all for today. See you next time. Bye.